Hello and welcome back to the Tech Zone. I am Paul Amadeus Lane, and thank you so much for coming back after the break. I mean, you could have went and got some coffee and never came back, but I'm glad that you came back. Remember, you can always connect with me at paulamadeuslane.com. Would love to hear from you. Would love to connect with you. And you can follow me for some updates on social media and what's been going on in the tech world. Well, I recently got back from Vegas a few weeks back, and I saw one of the coolest things I have ever witnessed in my life. You want to know what it was? Check it out right here. That was simply awesomeness in all the superlative right there. We're talking about at the Marvel's Avenger station in Las Vegas at Treasure Island Resort and Casino. Wow. I got a chance to tour the facility. It is like it's like you're in an Avengers movie. I mean, Hulk, Iron Man. They have a lot of the different costumes there that are from the actual movies. So it was awesome. I got a chance to get in contact with Cheryl over there. Cheryl runs the PR department, and I practically begged her. I said, Cheryl, you got to let me come and check it out. I want to find out all about the technology there. And Cheryl was oh so gracious. She put me in contact with the Chief Technology Officer over there, Michael Mattox. Got a chance to chat with Michael about this awesomeness of technology. Check it out. Right. So, Michael, talk about the technology that is on display at this exhibit and that you use to put all this together.
Okay, perfect. We tried to use everything that was cutting edge, mixed with things that we know were tried and true, because you want to give everybody this experience of something new and exciting that they may not have had anywhere else. But with new technology, always comes the new bugs. So you want to mix that with things that are old and proven, like IR, and we used Kinects from Xbox to make the ants move around and react to your body and stuff like that. Transparent LCD screens to give you information, but as well as you can see through and see the actual costumes from the movies and the artifacts.
And that just blew me away. We went through the different rooms, and did you ever think we would ever see technology where it is today that this would ever all come to fruition?
Yeah, growing up, I mean, I guess I feel like we're in the Tony Stark room, so I feel like I'm kind of like Tony Stark. So I'm always like looking for like, what's that new technology? And, you know, I'm still trying to invent that flying car, but I haven't quite got to that part yet. So that's the next goal. So.
and Michael, when we look at this whole exhibit right here, it's something that took years of planning. It wasn't something that you did overnight, was it?
No, not at all. Actually, this exhibit started in New York. So that was the first time that was kind of conceived and started being put together. And then it moved to Korea and was a little bit more refined and perfected there, finally before coming to Las Vegas, to where we could really put, you know, a permanent install in place and really do everything that we wanted to do. And then we're still looking for new things, and we're still prototyping and testing. And as well with the new movies, we're starting to, you know, integrate more of the new characters and stuff into it as well.
So this is something that is going to expand over time. You know, Marvel puts out movies, every 2 weeks?
Yeah, pretty much. So they keep me really busy as fast as they put it out. But yeah, absolutely. With Infinity Wars coming up, we're definitely getting ready for that. Integrating some new technologies, the new characters. I just finished looking at some prototypes for Black Panther, so it's coming along pretty fun.
And one thing I really like about the exhibit is the interactive feature, you know, about this exhibit. I mean, ones can use their smartphones. They can use like it's a little tablet or something. They walk through and they answer different riddles or something. Is that what happens?
Absolutely. We have mobile devices, so in case you don't have the have your phone with you, or if the battery's a little bit dead because you've been taking photographs all up and down the strip, you can walk around with that or use your mobile device, and it interacts. We use Bluetooth technology as well as Wi-Fi in here. So the phone or mobile device knows where you're at in the exhibit and reacts to that. Actually sends you messages It'll ping, give you the questions and answers, and you also need it for the final game. So there's a final game where you battle Ultron, and unless you have that mobile device or your phone, then you can't really play and fight him. So, but we do have it there locally just in case you forgot it. So.
Now, and one thing I like it too, each room has its own personality or its own feature. How difficult was that to integrate that, but also have a common theme throughout the whole exhibit?
It was a little bit challenging, but I think Marvel really made it easy for us. They've already integrated all the characters together through Avengers, so that's the common thread. So to be able to do that made it a little bit easier, but yeah, the characters are so totally different between Bruce Banner, Tony Stark, and even Thor. I mean, you got a mythological, god in one room, and you have Tony Stark, the party animal, in the next. So it does make it challenging, but it was a fun challenge.
And when we look at just this exhibit as a whole, it really is something that's fun, the family can all get involved with. Now, is it better experience someone individually or in a group?
It really depends on the person themselves. So that kind of gets into the psychology and philosophy of the human psyche. But some people like to be by themselves. They like to really walk around, read every little detail, and just take it all in just for themselves. But there's others that like to enjoy it as a group. That you like to have parties for NFL and stuff. You like to do the same thing here. Come in as a group and party and have a good time and enjoy it together and talk about this and how'd you like that, and you react off of each other versus just your own personal experience.
And you talk about the expansion of maybe different movies that may come out that you may have to put different costumes in. How far in advance do you know about that before we, the public, do?
Pretty far in advance. So at least with Marvel, we get about a year out of kind of knowing what's going on, maybe some of the characters that's coming, or some of the characters that might be reappearing that you thought were gone. So
can we get a spoiler alert?
No, can't. Sorry. I'd love to, but Marvel would, kill me.
Yes. Because they said if you tell anybody, we have to take you out, right?
Exactly. They'll send Tony Stark over here to take care of me.
Now we're in the Iron Man room right here, and this room has like all the suits that Tony Stark wore. Is there a new suit? No, I can't ask you that because I was trying to trick you. But as a fan, which one is your favorite suit?
Oh, that's a tough one. I have to say the Mark I. So the original movie where Tony had to come up with it on his own in the cave, piece it together out of just miscellaneous pieces and parts and flamethrowers. That would be my absolute favorite. But in this room, Veronica, the Hulkbuster is pretty fantastic because it's the actual size. So to be kind of, put in my place of, and in awe of that large suit is pretty amazing.
And speaking about the technology, the screens that you guys have here are just ultimately high resolution, Ultra HD, 4K. That's awesome. The clarity of it. Talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, we used 4K, like you said, and we're always looking for the newer technology and what's even clearer. So if they come up with an 8K, 12K, whatever it is, we're going to be going after that just to make sure that we deliver something new, something exciting, and just the cleanest experience possible. Because it is based on film, it is based on movie. So it's not right for us to, tend to neglect that and give you, something that looks like Minecraft on a screen compared to what you see in the cinemas.
And through our walk through the exhibit, you not confided in me, but you told me about how when you first got the project, just cement walls, cement floors, and to where it's at today, do you sometimes just walk through the exhibit and like, wow, look at this project I was a part of, and this is totally awesome?
I do, and I was just kind of reminiscing a little bit walking through with you about that. We even, and I didn't mention it to you prior, but we even basically blew a hole in the floor just to build an elevator shaft, and also to get some of the pieces up into place. So some of the items that are up here, for example, like Captain America's birthing chamber, really can never leave unless we blow another hole in the wall or in the floor, because it's so large. The only way to get it up was through an open elevator shaft.
Wow. As I look at the finished product, I'm like, this is awesome. And then think of the expansion. Are there any more rooms in here we haven't seen yet that's going to have the expansion, or what?
I have some hidden areas that's kind of back behind some of the walls, some hidden pathways. There's some secret doors around that I've installed for shortcuts and to access some other areas. So yeah, there's some surprises.
Awesome. Are there any more technologies that we didn't discuss that you wanted to articulate out there to all us geeks and tech heads out there?
I think as everybody knows, the network is kind of your backbone of everything, and that's probably the largest component of this exhibit as well. And trying to integrate all the different technologies, all the different partners that we have together to make it all function. Specifically, no. I mean, there's too many little bits and pieces together to make it all work. I mean, down to like the little connectors and little specialized pieces of wiring and things like that. It's very, as you know, it's very complicated to somehow make it all communicate together and actually function.
Are we looking at a VR component one day?
We have a VR component that we're working on right now. So it's very possible, and we're also looking at AR, which is a little bit more intriguing to us at this point than VR. So,
one thing when it comes to technology that's really like blown me away is that how we have become the conduit, the human body, when it comes to using things like you mentioned Connect earlier. Mm-hmm. And we're starting to see a lot of that more integrated in things. Do you think that that's really going to be a staple now when it comes to exhibits?
I believe so, absolutely. So that's everything we're working on right now is more integrated to the person. So somewhat of the individual experience, but also the group experience, but the interactivity and also the immersion. So we're trying to find ways to take you out of what your reality is and put you in our new reality.
And speaking of what you're working on next, I heard a little rumor that we may see an Optimus Prime, a Bumblebee, Megatron somewhere in the world. Is that true?
That is true. We are currently working on that, and we're going to be launching probably closer to the end of the year. So Transformers.
Awesome. And stay tuned. We're going to talk about some more things they're going to do right now. We don't have approval to talk about it, but when it's launched, we're definitely going to do it. A huge shout out to Michael Mattox, Chief Technology Officer over at Marvel's Avenger Station. Love the way he talked about the different technologies and just building that from the ground up. You have to go there and check it out. It's at the Treasure Island Resort and Casino in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Big shout out to Cheryl Capel for setting that up. Thank you, Cheryl. My begging paid off, didn't it? Hey, when we get back from the show, we're going to talk about how digital content is really just taking over the way we get news. So you don't want to miss that coming up right after these messages.